My peoples, papaziti here, and I've got some team deathmatch for your viewing pleasure in the background. This is on Silo, obviously. What I want to talk about today is something that's kind of near and dear to me. I've been following this for a few years now, and it's very pertinent to us gamers. And what I'm going to talk about is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's, if you're not real sure as far as what it is, the Webster Merriam Dictionary definition of Alzheimer's is as follows: a degenerative brain disease of unknown cause that is the most common form of dementia, that usually starts in late middle age or in old age, that results in progressive memory loss, impaired thinking, disorientation, and changes in personality and mood, and that is marked historically by the degeneration of brain neurons, especially in the cerebral cortex. So it is not good. There is no cure for it, and there are like 4 medicines on the market right now, and they really just treat very specific symptoms. And it's ugly. It's an ugly thing. If you've known anyone or had a family member or loved one, you know exactly what I'm talking about, how horrible this disease is. But for us gamers, there is good news. And since probably back 2006 is when I first noticed a lot of studies on this subject. There have been many researchers and university studies and labs that have started using video games to stave off early onset Alzheimer's or early onset dementia. This is when the symptoms kind of first become prevalent and seen in an individual. So I'm going to quote from a couple sources right now, and I'll list them in the video description. You can check them out yourself. This first one is from the ahaf.org, and it gives a little background as far as how our brain works. And so I'm going to just read a couple paragraphs real quick. Building cognitive reserves is a lifelong process that begins in childhood as we expand reading skills. According to classical neurological theory, during the early developmental stages of life, the human brain forms an enormous number of neurons or nerve cells, but many of these cells also die. The neurons that survive do so by connecting with other neurons during the rapid growth stage of the nervous system that occurs in childhood and adolescence. Reading progressively more challenging books, learning a musical instrument, creating art, playing chess, and engaging in any mental activity that helps form these vital neural connections can last a lifetime and appear to buffer people from cognitive decline later on. Fortunately, according to the theory of neuroplasticity, brain reserves can be expanded throughout life, even into advanced old age. A team of researchers led by Dr. David Bennett, MD, director of the Rush Alzheimer's Research Center, has studied neuroplasticity in adults. These scientists found that those who continue to learn to embrace new activities, learn new skills, in essence, to exercise their brains, continue to build up connections that in turn lower their risk of Alzheimer's disease. Perhaps they have begun to develop the disease, but they show no symptoms because they have brain cells to spare. Okay. Also, East Carolina Psychology Lab. Video games may not be the rotting boogeyman your parents warned you about. In fact, after reviewing the cognitive effects of gaming on dozens of people ages 50 and up, the university's researchers have identified clear benefits to playing games. Preliminary results of the study show major improvements to mental acuity among the test subjects who were exposed to 30-minute doses of games like Bejeweled and Peggle, then asked to complete parts A and B of a standardized trail marking test, a version of which is available in Brain Age. Compared to the researchers' control group, these game-playing subjects exhibited an 87% increase in cognitive response time, the speed at which they complete tasks, as well as a 215% improvement to executive functioning, the frequency of completing those tasks correctly. So, now let's talk a little bit about the right brain and left brain and how they are used in a game like Call of Duty. The right brain, if you subscribe to this theory, there's some that don't, but right brain, left brain theory is again another theory that's out there. So the right brain, according to this theory, recognizes faces, expressing emotions, music, reading emotions, color, images, intuition, and creativity. We're going to focus on those last 4. The left brain, language, logic, critical thinking, numbers, and reasoning. Logic and reasoning are the 2 we're going to focus on there. So, for the right brain, Color and images, obviously, video games are full of those. So you're working out your brain in that respect. And then intuition and creativity. When you're playing online against other people, the human factor is huge. So you need to be intuitive. You need to be creative to outsmart that camper, to get to that sniper. All of those things are exercising that part of your brain and keeping it sharp. Now the left brain, we're going to talk about logic and reasoning. So, logic. Logically, if I've played, Silo a bunch of times, I know in the beginning of the map there's going to be someone posted up on that thing I just climbed up. Okay? I know logically, if I'm looking at my HUD and there's not a blackbird up, I know logically there's not going to be enemies spawning where all my teammates are. So I'm going to move to the other part of the map that is devoid of my teammates and hopefully be able to find some enemies. And then reasoning, kind of the same thing. I know that if I just, with this gunship or chopper gunner, clear out a big section of the map of enemies, I know that they're probably not going to spawn there again. They're going to be spawning somewhere else. So I'm going to use my deductive reasoning to find them on the map and hunt them down. And, this is important stuff that's going on for a number of reasons. One, on kind of a lighter side, next time your significant other or a parental unit tells you, video games rotting your brain. They're not rotting your brain. They're actually exercising your brain. And couple that with, especially this game where it's a real fast twitch muscle type thing, you're also exercising your fast twitch muscles. It takes some skill to do what we do. So that's my little lesson today on Alzheimer's. Just look it up yourself and think about things like this when you're playing these games. What you're actually doing for yourself. You're really kind of helping yourself out down the road. Guys, this is papaziti. This game's winding down. I think I end up going 33-3. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. And I will see you next time. Peace.